and welcome back to our second day of tech. I am joined by Shop Direct's Retail and Technology Director, John Rudoe. Hi John, how are you?
Hi there.
So, really interesting keynote just now. For people who weren't in the session, can you give just a very brief taster of what some of the key themes were that you discussed?
Yeah, so we talked about technology, but making sure that we don't do technology for technology's sake, and we actually anchor it around the customer. So it talked a lot about customers' needs, desires, and then how you bring technology to bear, sometimes incredibly modern technology, AI, machine learning, but ultimately to serve the customer and serve what the customer wants out of your business.
Yeah. You said something I thought was really interesting in the talk. You talked about how customers are becoming much more agnostic with how we communicate with them. Can you just flesh out a little bit what that meant for me?
I think customers have a plethora of channels. If you think about how each of our own personal communications has exploded, it used to be just email, then there was email and text, and Facebook and WhatsApp, and I can keep on going on. And actually, if you think about how the phones are now manifesting those communications, a lot of them are appearing in feeds where actually the platform is less important than the communication. And I think that's absolutely right, because customers actually just want to be talked to by their brands in relevant and timely ways when they want to. So it's much more important that you think about the message and the timeliness of the message than it is that you think about the method of communication. And that's something I think is quite interesting for us, because a lot of organizations actually structure by channel, and the customer, of course, doesn't care about your organizational channel. They just care about how Very and Littlewoods or whichever organization it is talking with them. So I think that's an important thing for us to realize as we utilize all of this technology, that the customer can't see it, and they're just more interested in their relationship with the brand.
Yeah. And so with that in mind, you talked a little bit about how the Very Assistant, am I right in you said that was developed in a hackathon and then the first prototype was put out to market really quickly?
Started in a hackathon. I wouldn't say that
done.
I wouldn't say that what we put out in front of the customer was done in the hackathon.
Yeah.
But absolutely came out of a hackathon, got the creative juices flowing from the teams, and ultimately that turned into a cross-functional team that put a pilot out in front of customers in just a few weeks. And we've iterated and gone from there.
And you were talking about how there are going to be some more developments on that and what the Very Assistant looks like and what it's capable of coming down the track. Can you give a bit of a taster of what some of those developments will be?
Later in the year we'll be releasing another version of the app that will increase the number of use cases, increase the number of ways in which the customer can use the app to interact with Very. But lots and lots of things going on as we continue to iterate through technology and data, iterate our customer proposition.
Yeah, and so in terms of, you were talking a lot about social media and how important it is for retailers to sort of use it and understand it as a tool to reach new customers. To your mind, which social channel or social platform is the most vital for you and Shop Direct as a business to find and get new customers?
I think it's quite hard to pin down on one, and part of the reason for saying that is that there are so many, and actually new ones are springing up all the time as people find new and different ways for customers people to interact with each other. Clearly, however, you can't ignore some of the big ones. You can't ignore the fact that Facebook is in of itself a big country, or indeed a continent probably now in terms of its use case. But ultimately, you've got to be very careful not to ignore all the places where your customers are. And that's, I think, part of what we talked about earlier on, the technology is a servant to the customer, rather than the technology or the platform being the thing that drives what you do for the customer. So we seek to stay nimble, and we're on a number of platforms, and we'll be on more in the future, because we're going where our customers are and trying to serve our customers in the way in which they want to be served.
Really interesting. Well, thanks so much for taking time, John. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the conference.
Sure we will. Thanks.